Today we will discuss the structure for answering paper 2 questions. So in paper 2, there is only two types of question, which is 8 marks question and 12 marks question. We have 8 questions in total. Question 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, and 4A, 4B. So we have 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, and 4A, 4B. Questions A, which is 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, is 8 marks, while question B, 1B, 2B, 3B, 4B, is 12 marks. Say, okay, so questions A is going to be 8 marks, while questions B is 12 marks. Now we'll focus first on question A, which is the 8 marks question. In the 8 marks question, there are some variations of questions that can be given. First variation, second variation, and then third variation. So there are 3 variations of question that can be given for questions A, 8 marks. First one is 8 mark questions with 2 sections. So there is only 2 sections, 8 mark question divided into 2 sections. Each section is worth 4 marks. 8 mark questions that will be divided into 2 sections, and each section will be worth 4 marks. There are 2 knowledge, 4 analysis, and 2 application. So each section will have 1 knowledge mark, 1 knowledge for each section, 2 additional marks for developed explanation, or we call it as analysis. Analysis can be the causes, the consequences, why it is an advantage, why it is a disadvantage, or the impact. Can be the cause, the consequence, the impact, or why is it an advantage, why is it a benefit, why is it a disadvantage, why is it a limitation. 1 application mark for each. Now I will show you how does this question look like in the actual paper. This is the paper taken from 2020 October-November, paper 22. Paper 22. So how does it look like? This is the question. Explain 2 reasons why finance is needed by CC. This is what the structure tells us. It is divided into 2. Section 1 and section 2. Section 1, section 2. Each section has 1 knowledge. Knowledge 1, knowledge 2. Explanation will consist of 2 analysis, and then 1 application. Each explanation will consist of 2 analysis and 1 application. Application should be different. Application here in the first explanation should be different with the application in the second explanation. You cannot repeat the same application for the same number. Question 1A is 1 number. Question 1B is a different number. So you can repeat the application that you use here for question 1B. It is okay to repeat application from 1A into 1B question. It's okay, but within 1 number, in 1 number, you should not repeat application. Same case for analysis. You should not have the same analysis for each explanation. There should be different explanations, different analysis points given. So that's the first, to recap, that's the first 8 mark questions with 2 sections. Each section is worth 4 marks. Second variation is 8-mark questions with 4 sections. 4 sections. It is a general question which do not mention the case study by name. Meaning it is asking a general knowledge. It does not have a direct correlation with the case study. It does not have a direct correlation with the case study. Total marks is 4 knowledge, 4 analysis, because they are divided into 4 sections. So you have to identify 4 knowledge and explain that knowledge. Simply identify 4 knowledge and then explain it. It is divided into 4 sections. Each section will contain 2 marks. Each section will contain 2 marks, 1 for knowledge and 1 additional mark for development of the point. So each section will contain 1 knowledge and 1 analysis. Analysis is how you explain the knowledge. No need to use info from the case because it is a general question. No need to use info from the case because it is asking something general, so you do not need to use information from the case. Now the example. In this paper, there is none. So let me try and access another paper that might have this kind of format. Still none. Not always that in one examination setting there is. None also. So it's quite rare. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not always that every examination there will be these kinds of question. Hopefully we can find one as an example. This one can be, as an example, identify and explain 2 differences between MF and unincorporated business. MF and unincorporated business, and then also MF and public sector organizations. Meaning identify the difference and then present the analysis. I'll try to find a clearer example. Still none. None also. So which one? Yeah, let me randomly find. Now this one. Okay, finally. Explain 4 characteristics that make Simon a successful entrepreneur. Identify and then explain it. It doesn't have to use information from the text. And this one, explain 4 ways an increase in government spending may affect a business. Explain 4 ways an increase in government spending may affect a business. This one, identify the 4 ways, way 1, way 2, way 3, way 4, and then explain it.
Sir.
Yes.
So paper 2 mostly doesn't need application, sir.
Paper 2 needs application, but not all questions will require application. Paper 2 will need application, but not all will have application. So some will not have. Going back again to the structure. Going back again to the structure. So this is when they are asking general questions. And then the next one is 8-mark questions with 4 sections. Questions which mention the case study business. 8-mark questions with 4 sections, and then the questions will mention about the case study. 4 knowledge, 4 application. So the 8-mark questions that is divided into 4 sections, and then each section will consist of 1 knowledge and 1 application. Now, let me clarify what I mentioned just now. For this question, it mentions information about the case. So this question will be our third variation. This question, the one that mentions the name of the person stated in the case, this question will be for knowledge and for application. For knowledge and for application. Okay. This one will be for knowledge and for application because they are using information from the case. They are using information from the case. So you have to look at the information in the case. Let me show the case. So you have to use some information given in the case to answer that question. Because why? Because they are asking something that is specific related to the case. Compare it to this one. Compare it to this question. This question will not ask you to find application. May affect a business. May affect a business. It is something general. It is something general. So this one for knowledge, for analysis. No application is required. Going back again. So only 3 types. However, the most common is this one. The most common is the first type. Most of the questions that is asked in paper 2 will be related to the first type. Will be related to the first type. Will be related to the first type of structure. I'll show you and I'll prove it to you. This is following the first type. This one, explain 2 possible reasons why Aisyah set up CC. Following the first type also. Knowledge in the reason 1, knowledge in the reason 2. Explanation will include what? Explanation will include 1 application to analysis. 1 application to analysis. So it doesn't mean that application is less. Application is more, but not all questions require application. 2 reasons again. See, divided into 2. Now also this one. Calculate the following ratios. This is more of calculation basis. Yeah, this is different. This is different. This is directly you show the working, you find the answer. Different. This is another structure, rare. This is a rare structure, which is a calculation-based question. Find the working, show the working, and find the answer. I'll show again. 2 parts still, explain 1 advantage and disadvantage. 2 parts, explain 1 economy and 1 is economy of scale. 2 parts also. Explain 4 responsibility of AD's operations director. This is going to be the one that has application. This one, because they are mentioning the case study business by name. They are mentioning something about the case study, which is AD's operations director. Explain 2 benefits and 2 limitations to a business of becoming a public limited company. This is 4 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4. Of becoming a public limited company. General question, meaning under the second category, general. general question and does not mention the case study by name. So it is asking something general. One more, we see. Explain the effect. 2 sections, so same applies. Liquidity, profitability, 2 sections. This one 4 sections, meaning for knowledge, for application. This is related to the text. Gamma. It has a name mentioned related to the case. 2 reasons again, 2 sections. So again, mostly will follow the first one. Mostly 60% will follow this one. 20% or 30% will follow this and this. The remaining 40 will be the other 2, but mostly will be following the first one. Mostly will be following the first one. Next, we are going to see about part B questions, which is the 12 marks question. In the 12 marks question, it is not graded per component. Actually, it's not graded per component, but it's going to be graded per level. We have level 1, level 2, and level 3. So it's going to be graded per level and not per category. However, we can still have some breakdown. The highest level would be level 3, and the lowest is level 1. Let's break down first from the lowest level. If your answer is considered level 1, it means your answer has only fulfilled knowledge. So we can still break down. If you are a level 1 answer, your answer only fulfills knowledge, 3 knowledge plus 1 application. If you want to break it down, it is 3 knowledge plus 1 application. If your answer is a level 2, meaning to say you have shown analysis. So your answer, for example, if you will get 8 marks, yeah, suppose we take the highest marks of level 2, which is 8, yeah. If you will get 8 marks, meaning to say the 3 statements has been given an analysis. The 3 knowledge point has been given an analysis plus 1 more application. So in total, how many? 2 application, right? Until here, total of 2 application, and then 3 statements supported with one sentence of analysis. Or one, not necessarily 1 sentence, but 1 analysis. If you are in level 2, meaning to say level 1 and 2 has no evaluation yet. If you stop at level 1 and level 2, you don't have any evaluation score yet. Until this point, you don't have any evaluation score. If you want to get evaluation, you should be aiming for level 3. In level 3, there will be 3 evaluation marks. If you want to break down, there will be 3 evaluation marks and then 1 more for application. 3 evaluation marks and 1 more for evaluation. If you want to get 12 marks, 3 evaluation plus 1 application. If you want to get 11 marks only, 3 evaluation and no application, or 2 evaluation and 1 application. I'll show you how it looks like. Just wait a moment. Suppose this question. Explain the benefits and limitations of the following 2 ways of achieving quality production. Which way should CC use? This one will be evaluation. So we have 2 ways, quality control and quality assurance. 2 ways, right? Now, for 12 marks also, there are several types. But let me just make it in general first. In general, if it is the question like this, we have quality control, quality assurance, recommendation. Your strategy will be each one knowledge plus 2 analysis plus 1 application. Total 4, yeah. Please help calculate total 4, and then quality assurance 1 knowledge plus 2 analysis plus 1 application. 4 marks. 4 plus 4, 8. Recommendation, 3 evaluation, 1 application. So 4, 4, 4, 12. Basically, I repeat, one knowledge, one knowledge, one knowledge here, one knowledge here, two analysis here, two analysis here, one application here, one application for the second one. For the recommendation or conclusion, 3 evaluation, 1 application. Okay, I'll go back first to the structure. So this is how it looks like. But then, okay, there is no more. But then there are several types. Okay, I'll just use it as an example. There are several types of B questions. How many sections is this? Section 1, section 2. 2 sections, yeah. And then 2 sections plus 1 conclusion. This is the first type. Second type is section 1, section 2, section 3, conclusion. So in this question, consider the advantages and disadvantages of the following 3 methods of employee selection. So we have application form, interview, aptitude test. 3 methods. Which method should CC use when recruiting production worker? Justify your answer. So we have 3. We have 3, yeah. If we have 3, then actually this is the tricky point. This is the tricky point of IGCSE paper 2, yeah. I'll tell you the tricky point. What's the tricky point? The tricky point is that this has 3, right? Even though this has 3, but they will look at 2. Even though this has 3, but they will look at 2. So for example, there are 3. Suppose you are running out of time. Suppose during the exam, you don't have enough time. Okay. There is a strategy for you to still get the full marks, even though you are running out of time. I can tell you the strategy. If there are 3 things, just choose 2. But this is only to be done if you are running out of time. If you don't have enough time, out of these 3, choose 2. Let's say you are mastering more application form and interview. Explain this completely. Explain this completely. 1 knowledge, 2 analysis, 1 application. 1 knowledge, 2 analysis, 1 application. Aptitude test, let's say, oh, I forgot what is aptitude test. Forget it then. Because I don't know what is aptitude test, but I know what is application form. I know what's an interview. Focus on that. And then directly you keep this blank, directly go to recommendation. Directly go to recommendation. Which one do you recommend between application form and interview? 3 statement of evaluation plus 1 application. In that way, you will also get full. If you are able to explain completely here, you will get full. But I do not recommend you to do that if you have time. Only when you are running out of time, I will allow and I will recommend that. But if you are not running out of time, do not do that. Answer normally, completely. Application, interview, aptitude, answer all. Because it will increase your chance. Because this is the case, yeah. Cambridge uses positive marking. They never deduct score for a wrong answer. They do not deduct or reduce score for a wrong answer. They only see what is correct from your answer. So the more things you write, the more chances that you have more correct answers. They will not deduct score for anything that's wrong. So when you write something, whatever is correct will be graded. What is wrong will just be there. Will not be affected. Will not be affecting your score. So do not only fill 2 parts. Do not only fill 2 parts if you have time. Always fill everything. Always fill in everything. If time is available, only do that strategy when there is no more time or when the time is running out. Type 2, type 3, no more type 3, only 2 types, yeah. Only 2 types actually, only 2 types. Type 1 is divided into 2 sections, 2 sections plus 1 conclusion. Type 2 is divided into 3 sections, 3 sections plus 1 conclusion. No more. For questions of 12 marks, you can see, I will show quickly, either divided into 3 sections and then plus 1 conclusion, or 2 sections and then 1 conclusion. You can see all this if I go down quickly. 3 sections. This one, advantage, disadvantage, conclusion, 2 sections. Town A, Town B, Town C, 3 sections and 1 conclusion. Buy one, get one. Buy one, get 50%, 10%, pay a celebrity, 3 sections. 3 sections. So 3 sections plus 1 conclusion, or 2 sections plus 1 conclusion. So we're going back here as a recap. Question B is 12 marks. If you want to get 4 marks only, then you should present 3 knowledge marks and 1 application. If you want to get the 8 marks or the 5 to 8 marks category, the 3 knowledge should be explained with analysis plus additional 1 application. If you want to get 12 marks, add a conclusion or add an evaluation, that is 3 statements plus 1 application. That way you will get 12 marks. So that is what we have discussed in today's session about the guidance for answering paper 2 questions. Hopefully this will help you in answering the paper 2 questions and have a clear idea of what is the expectation when answering paper 2 question. That will be for this session's video.